So, is it possible to time travel? Well, I have come to the conclusion that it is not possible. But what will happen if it was possible? So, for here, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna draw my conclusion on why I think it is impossible to time travel, but it's more of a fact rather than an opinion, to be honest. I'm not a physicist and I'm not a scientific guy. I mean, and by scientific, I mean I never studied in a high prestige mother scientist school or whatever. But here's the conclusion that I have come to. So, what is time? Time is actually a human construct. Time is actually a what we call a clock. That's what we call time. This little clock. That's what we humans use to call time. And honestly, we have become enslaved by this thing, this time. And but what is actually time? So time is eternal, is existent, and it is existent for eternity. So let's say this is all space. You have galaxies, you have universes in all of this page, right? So time actually is the eternity that we are here. So I'm going to put it on north, south, east, and west. So there you go. All of this is time. All of this, all space, all out of the world, is the real time. But I will define it as eternity to be more specific. I will call it eternity because time really doesn't have a clock, doesn't have minutes, milliseconds, doesn't have anything of that sort, but rather it has nothing. It's just eternity. So we have our timeline here. This is our timeline, right? So let's say you will some scientific say, well, let's time travel to the past. Is it possible to time travel for the past? The answer is no, it's not possible, because no matter what spaceship you have that can run light years away from Earth and to try to go back in time or go to the future, it is not possible. Even in the movie what's it called, the other movie, Back to the Future. So let's say you want to build a vehicle that sends you to the future, sends you to the past. It is not possible. You can go light years away, but you will eventually crash somewhere and evaporate, because in such velocity and crashing in something, you will be pulp, you will be dust. So it is not possible to time travel. So what if it was possible for time traveling? Well, if it was possible, which is not, but let's pretend it is. So let's say here is 2019, right? Here, 2019. And let's say you go here, you want to go to 1944. Now, why would you want to go to 1944? Well, let's say you want to go and learn the German point of view of the war. You want to rescue Hitler from his death 1 year from there. Well, not 1 year from there, right? Because he died in 44. So let's say you want to rescue him, right? You go to exactly January 13, let's say. You want to go there, right? And let's fantasize that it is possible to time travel to this, from this to this, okay? Let's pretend it is possible. Because as we know, and as I have said, we live in an eternity. We change as humans. We get older because it's in our biology, but time never passes. Time remains the same, which means eternity is the same. So basically, we construct cities, but it's not because a clock is advancing. A clock controls the galaxies, the universe. No, we are in a eternity. So we can build houses, we can upgrade many stuff, but we actually are in the same place as our primitive ancestors, as the Neanderthals, as the Homo sapiens. We are stepping in their same place and in their same time. What happens is that they die off because it's nature. They die off as well as we will die off, and some of us are dying off. So it's not really a time related manner, but it's because of biology, which means our sandbox, to say like that, is an eternity. This video is kind of long. Anyway, so you build a machine, right? Let's pretend you can time travel. So you build a machine, and you go all the way to 1944, right? You say, "Hey Hitler, you will die in this year. Get to my spaceship and let's go to my future, to 2019." So yeah, he says, "Okay, let's go." So what happens is this timeline becomes corrupted. Why it becomes corrupted? Because you rescued Hitler. He was supposed to die in 1944. However, you rescued him. So therefore, when you turn your future machine back to 2019, this will eventually happen. You will create another timeline back to 2019. So it's not like in the movies that you actually can go from here to here and rescue him, and when you go back to the future, which is the present, things will remain the same. No, this will create a I will say catastrophic butterfly effect, which will create another timeline, which is this one that I just drawn. Damn pens. Then I think I need to bring another one, but anyway, no, I'm cool. So yeah, you create another one, and what will happen in this one? Well, since you disrupted 1944, on this new timeline that you are here in 2019, you managed to change history, and since you managed to go to another timeline, which in this one probably you won't have the same parents, you won't have your same family members, you will be alone, you will never know where are they. Maybe they never existed in this timeline that you modified. So you will say, "Oh no, what did I did? I fucked up. I changed the future." Well, you will obviously try to go back to this timeline, right? However, it will not be possible, because you will say, "Oh no, I need to bring you back over to 1944 Hitler." So yeah, he agrees to die. So you go back, you put him in the place, but actually things are so changed in this timeline of 1944 that now Hitler won't be able to exist, because he was in this timeline and you rescued him from here. So in this one, he is not. Probably in this one, even Germany won World War I. So therefore become the max potential, and Hitler in this new timeline, he's let's say, how do you call it? Let's say just a normal person, a normal citizen of Austria, right? So you are actually stuck with Hitler in this timeline because you changed it all this time that this got destroyed. So therefore, this timeline will continue on. It's not like a world that dies. This timeline will continue on and on. But in this one, you already disrupted it. So therefore, you got stuck with Hitler. But now what will it happen? You will try again to go to the future, but again you will open just another timeline to 2019, and it will be very different because people saw you here, and people saw your rope, saw your technology. They will probably try to modify some kind of things to make the same technology or clothes that you have. So you disrupted just that timeline. So this is more like a butterfly effect. If it was possible to travel to the future, or travel to the past, more likely. So yeah, that's the reason why time traveling it's impossible. Even if Einstein say that you need speed, yeah, you can go very fast, but that won't change anything because we live in a eternity, not in a time. So therefore, for an eternity, his ship of billions of light years away can go discovering galaxies, discovering whatever, but he will never be able to go to the past. So yeah, that's the video of today, that it is impossible to time travel. It has been debunked. Now I feel I'm correct, but I don't know you guys. So yeah, this is my theory of why it is impossible to time travel, and it will not be possible. And if it is possible, these disruptions will happen. You will cease to exist here. You will just disappear, like if someone kidnapped you and disappeared you. But time will go on in this one. However, you will be in another timeline, and you will be lost, and I don't know. So yeah, that will be all for today, and see you guys for another video. For my next book review, I have Maurice Cachet, The Secret of the She-Bear, which I will soon do a review on that book. So yeah, take care guys.